on the CT there.
I don't think it matters, Pilski. Sometimes things just happen.
Nice start for Noobstar. To find the pick onto Netic. Bit of damage onto Danny G as he picks up the AK. Need to be careful if you're Rooster here. You've already lost that first pick. Noobster's just on a tear and underpass. The man doesn't even have armor, but he's found 2 picks. In ground 0, the push through apartments is going to give Llamas a lot of information. The bomb dropped at top mid. They're trying to navigate this 3-on-3. Llamas going to recover that AK. Now it looks like Rooster going to move back towards this A side of the map. Pears has made the push into Palace. That's a great information play.
In a 3-on-3, information is what you need.
Oh, is he going to play this right side angle? I want to see him jump up, but the off angle might be good enough. I think he gets traded here, though. Doesn't even get one. UMP doing 99 in 4 or 5, I think, there.
Not what you love to see.
No.
At least if you're a Ground Zero fan. But perhaps if you're a Rooster fan, you don't mind that, because while ADK goes down to Licky, it's at least information for Rooster as to where his position is.
Licky just buying time. With Llamas up on the flank here.
They're spamming him down. He's 9 HP. Those shots are not quite connecting to finish him off, though. And now Chelios has to go hunting. They've lined up. Llamas, easy as you like. 2-man spray down, and Ground Zero are not prepared to give this up.
2 AKs recovered as well. That's going to be fantastic for them. And surely, looking at the money that Rooster's dealing with, it is just another force buy. Of course it is.
Now,
in a while since we've seen this, haven't we?
This is what I love to see. Some good old-fashioned force buy madness.
Of course it's a Rooster game.
Getting better for Ground Zero, though, that money.
Yeah, well, their buy's good, but they don't have any loss bonus or any money left over if they lose this round.
This is true.
A lot of damage onto Netic, though, and he's just going to hold on to the AK. Smoke gets dropped by Pears. Volley into Palace as well, so he's feeling pretty safe in this close position, and he's got a little bit of backup. Noobster towards triple there. I think Ground Zero's just stopped this A play in its tracks.
Oh, that's not too great, though. Pears tries to get aggressive, and he's shut down by ASAP. Numbers advantage now for Rooster, and they have enough utility at least to smoke off jungle. The rest of the players will now kind of creep their way out from A ramp. Noobstar! A 2-man spray down. That third was from Licky. You thought it was Noobstar. But it's still a 2-on-2 and still winnable here for Rooster, but ADK is in a very precarious position, and Danny G has just absolutely booked it. He's not interested.
Going to try and reposition back towards ramp side, but he needs to recover the bomb from under balcony.
Licky's on 1 HP. Don't know how easy this is going to be for poor old Danny G. He not only needs to retrieve that bomb, but also needs to find 2 CTs. So has to creep his way forward. In fact, this might be the best strategy, just trying to find those aim jewels. I'm not sure he'll be able to plant the bomb.
He's not going to be given anything towards CT, though. Licky's just not even peeking the angle. The footsteps have surely been heard now.
He might just be able to get a bomb plant down. Never mind. Licky's going to peek early. And Danny G was not expecting that. Although, had Danny G had his gun out there, Licky on 1 HP, 9 seconds still on the clock. Could have been interesting. By the way, 3-on-2. And Ground Zero have put 2 rounds together. So, Rooster will finally need to save.
Yeah, the force buys stop after one team usually wins 2 in a row. And it was Ground Zero, but it was still an expensive one. So with a handful of P250s here and a couple of flashbangs, need to be careful not to lose too many guns here. Especially because Llamas, he doesn't actually have a Molotov to slow this push down. And Licky, he's only got the HE grenade. Nicely timed though, does a hell of a lot of damage. And only $300 investment on that HE is enough to pretty much shut that push down. 5 alive for Ground Zero. That's exactly what they wanted. Not even a bomb plant for Rooster. As if their utility wasn't limited enough. They really could have used that extra couple $100.
Ground Zero certainly starting to get on top now. And Nedic has to go back down to Ukulele just to afford that extra util for Rooster. 3 smokes, only the 1 molly. It's not a particularly great belt of utility for anyone bar Nedic. So one of the smokes will be used in mid. That is a very nice incendiary, which is going to force a few of the Rooster players out of position, but that said, Rooster have accomplished control of mid. So that's mission successful, at least at the start of the round. 1:26 left on the clock for them to really continue to gain control of mid, and then from there looking toward perhaps the A-bomb side. It's a split with ADK right now in Palace.
This is the map you really need if you're Rooster, though. As of late, they've been doing a fair bit of work on this map. Pushed Avant into overtime on it. They smashed Truckers on it. They also smashed a couple of other lower tier teams in MDL. So if they're going to get a win in this series, they need to make sure they get Mirage, because I don't really have a whole lot of data to go off to say that they're going to have much of a chance on Nuke.
Hasn't started well for him. Burns just going to play the off angle, waiting for Chelios or Nedic to peek around the corner here. Flash will go in, but it does not blind Burn at all, and he's gotten so much damage done that Pears and Noobster should have a pretty easy time. Noobster had too many options, went from one to the other, but in the end, Ground Zero are going to win the round regardless. 2 guns alive, both of them being AKs. I'd say you take that if you're Ground Zero.
Yeah, this is really nicely done for them. They're really starting to get a whole lot of control in the CT side. Money's looking good. Now staring down the barrel of another anti-eco. A fair bit being invested in here for Rooster, so the chance for damage is there. Be a play towards A, very quickly out of ramp. Pears under a fair bit of pressure, going to counter flash for himself over triple.
Chelios.
No idea how Chelios is hitting that.
Oh! Stop shooting! Oh, well, poor Danny G.
Daddy G, how could you do him like that?
My favourite player in the whole wide world has just been absolutely backstabbed by his teammates. Honestly, that's grounds for leaving the team, I reckon. Find someone else to play with. Llamas and Licky have walked into the B-bomb site, rather into the A-bomb site, and they've really just dealt with Rooster relatively accordingly, but the rest of Rooster are kind of putting a bit of work in here. Nedic burning alive in that molly, and he won't peek in time. So the round will go the way of Ground Zero. It's a fairly expensive one in the end, but considering Rooster did invest a bit, I guess Ground Zero getting another one on the board isn't too bad of a performance.
Now putting an AWP on Chelios, getting a good buy on the board for Rooster. They've really struggled putting utility together after that constant back and forth at the start of the half. They've also been taking pretty consistently a few guns off of Ground Zero, which means that the pressure on the CT economy still is there. Chelios is going to open up the accounting there towards the A ramp. The push is still on for Pears, who goes down to Chelios there as well. So
Better
good
start.
denial of the aggression.
Noobster, though, up on top of ticket booth. Has dealt with ADK walking out from ramp. Trading one back at least.
Zero, you can see Licky, Pairs, Burn. They're pretty poor now.
Mm-hmm.
Have to consider the save. And this is the constant economic pressure that Rooster's putting on ground zero. With those pistols. With such a back and forth start to the half. It is actually going to put ground zero on an eco.
That's some big damage from the grenade.
Yep. Over towards B, I believe. Or maybe it was a bit of spam through the wall, not sure.
Hmm. Well, if it's spammed through the wall, then it's very substantial.
Yeah. Might have been from kitchen. Either way, though, Rooster navigating their way through this anti-eco are looking to put a fourth on the board and start to try to trade back rounds on this T side of Mirage. Ground zero, they've had quite a good start to the half on the CT side here. But as I said before, you know, there's not much data to go off for Rooster in the last little bit. Because they got knocked out of ANZ Champ Split 1 so quickly, they haven't really been playing a whole lot of best of threes. But I can tell you these guys have been banging on Mirage lately. So they need this victory here.
Very nearly overwhelms Netic there. Would have been a nice pickup for them on the CT side, getting an AK out of a round like this. Certainly information's been given over to Burn, and he's kind of gone hunting a little, looking for Netic, who has just managed to swindle his way out of there.
Yep.
That's a nice shot.
Yeah, okay. Good for one, right?
Well,
Good for one.
Yeah,
Been a while.
He has. But the unfortunate reality about that pick is that look at how far ground zero have to run to get the AK.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to be doing that.
2 players watching it from Rooster. This will be a tough one for Burn. He's going to chance it anyway.
Yeah, he hasn't got armor, may as well. Lamas is going to hold on to his smoke and his flash and his body armor. Either way, Rooster well and truly back into things. Only losing 1 gun in that anti-eco, getting that gun round together. The thing is, if ground zero, they're going to build up a little bit of loss bonus towards the end of this half if they lose a couple of rounds. But if they just get 1 or 2 more gun rounds, it's pretty much job done for them on CT.
Yep. That said, Burn started off well. That's exactly the kind of pick at exactly the kind of time that ground zero needs it. Look at where Noobster is as well. 80k. He's waiting for it, so a bit of over-aggression maybe from Noobster, but Pairs remains unchecked for now, and he sprays 2 down. Danny G and Netic lined up. What a round from Pairs. He deals with 80k as well, and gets out alive by the looks of things, ready to challenge Chelios should he walk around this corner, who is good enough to hit the flick, I'd imagine that was.
No one else hits that.
But even still in a 3-on-1. I guess it's impactful damage nonetheless.
Oh, for sure.
Could have been 4 guns alive for ground zero.
Can't even blame Pairs for taking that angle.
Yeah.
Over the top of the smoke.
Yeah.
I reckon even like Sterling doesn't hit that.
What about Sicko?
Oh,
Sicko's got a big flicko.
With a scout, for sure, he hits that.
I reckon he might. Let's see. Surely this is Chelios POV replay. Good round from Pairs, though. Oh!
He's not aiming at him again, Jordan.
Don't worry about it, Pilski. Don't worry about it.
This is what I've been doing. I've been trying to aim at my opponents. Good flash from Pairs over towards the A side of the map. Secures that AWP aim duel right at the start of the round.
Mm-hmm. Another round that starts in the favor of ground zero.
Yeah. Starting to make a very good accounting for themselves on this CT side. Rooster trying to even up the odds. Maybe a bit over enthusiastic from ADK, but in a 4-on-5. Another flash from the A side of the map sets up Burn.
Yeah, it was pretty well done from Burn. He was in a bit of trouble, but managed to recalibrate nicely.
Danny G lost his footing a couple times there. Pairs is deep in Palace, though. Ground zero, they're in complete control of this round.
They are going to allow Rooster out onto the A site, but what's the critical information here is that Rooster doesn't have the bomb. And they've just realized that.
Don't need the bomb, just shoot him, lol.
So 30 seconds to get from T-Apps to a bomb site. Don't know that that's going to happen. And I think Rooster are pretty aware of that as well. So they're just sort of milling around, looking for a place to set up shop. It's like trying to find a good apartment to live in Sydney. Not too easy. They all look like this one.
I think that spacing's a bit generous, to be honest. In Sydney, you're paying, you know, $500 a week for a shoebox.
Doesn't really make much sense when you think about it. Like, the design of that apartment. Why does the kitchen go straight into this outdoor courtyard area? And then the rest of the apartment is just this one long hallway with no doors and a barred window. What kind of neighborhood is this?
Honestly, Jordan, I don't know if I don't, look, we'll talk about it after, okay? Maybe after this map, we'll discuss why that might be the case. But I feel like you haven't visited enough Asian countries.
Maybe.
Pressure on towards middle and connector. It's a 1-4 setup. Danny G, he likes that apartment just fine. He's going to lurk up there, but he does get evicted by Llamas preemptively. Very rude.
Indeed, Rooster are trying to work their way through the map. They've gotten control of mid, but as a response, Ground Zero will send pairs pushing through A ramp, which is going to give him a little bit of info right now on that A bomb site. Got Noobster watching the murder hole as well. Bit of a rotation needs to be made by Rooster fairly shortly. 38 seconds left on the clock, and they'll start to work their way into the B bomb site. Now, they did have success here against Licky and Llamas earlier on in the piece against a 2-on-4. This time, Noobster is able to chime in early, which is also going to give Llamas the opportunity to lurk forward, and ADK goes down early on in the piece. I think that's done and dusted quite nicely by Ground Zero, and they really are shaping up quite nicely as well on the CT side of Mirage. 9 already.
Yeah, 9 and 4 on CT. Been a while since I've seen it.
Maybe a chance for more. 11. It's going to have to be against the buys.
11 and 4 on CT. That'll be a nice half for sure. Rooster's going to top mid smoke it. And it looks like a quick one out of this A bomb site. Danny G's got a cop a nade in the smoke there, getting ready for the entry. It's a retake setup from Pairs. Good little start for him, gets the initial pick, falls for the rotation.
No burn. Dancing around triple. Always going to be a solid player from a position like this. Hasn't had to do too much work yet, but as soon as the opportunity presents itself, he'll get rid of Chelios out of the server. Netic now 1-on-3 with the Galil, and he can't do much more than getting the kill onto Licky. 10-4. That's how you know I've been casting for 4 hours straight.
Khalil. Pairs has been doing a good job anchoring that site. And you know what? All of Ground Zero, I've been doing a good job. A 10 and 4 half. Beautiful. Rooster don't really care for grenades. We like AKs. Go shoot them, lol. 5-man wide swing out middle. I like it. I like the energy. I like the attitude.
Big gamer flick energy.
Yeah, that's it.
This is going to be a good grenade.
I reckon it's going to do 0 damage.
Oh, you were wrong.
17 damage.
I was wrong too, admittedly. It wasn't a good grenade.
It was terrible.
But if he didn't fall off the boost, it would have been a good grenade.
That wasn't a smoke kill.
This will be a good grenade. Oh, nearly. It's actually not too bad, actually. It puts ADK into one-shot headshot range for them force.
Didn't have armor. Head armor.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's true as well, but if he did have head armor, I'm saying.
Of course, of course.
Of course. Anyway, it doesn't look like that's going to matter too much because the round is quite easily going to ground 0. Licky ends up burning Chelios alive. 11-4 on Mirage. When was the last time you saw that? I'm going to have to eat my words. I am really going to have to eat my words because I wasn't... Look, I'm going to be honest. I haven't been sold on ground 0. The performances I've been seeing from them in the last few months, the results rather, because I haven't been able to watch a lot of ground 0, but at least the scorelines that they've been posting, I think they've been troubled by teams that they, on paper, shouldn't be troubled by.
It's pretty rough when like you only have really MDL to go off because some of these teams go out a bit earlier on in champs, split 1. Because best of 1s are like, I'm not going to say they're meaningless, but it's not going to give you a good idea either way. It's a very quick play towards this B bomb site. Actually, Chelios goes forward.
That was ballsy. He's not punished for it. ASAP hits a good shot onto Licky as he's flying out. That was from short, and ASAP will continue to dance around the Macca's pillar. And he's done a good job to get rid of Burn as well. It seems like ground 0 are definitely struggling to find the frags on the entries, but maybe spoke too soon because Llamas and Noobster are chiming in there. They've got control of bench. This is a good crossfire setup, and ground 0, with the 3 remaining players of ground 0, are able to pick the round up for them.
12-4, dear God, this is getting out of hand.
Indeed.
And this is, I feel like, kind of the map that Rooster needed to win in this series. To give themselves a shot at winning it, because I feel like ground 0 picking into Nuke, they're probably feeling pretty chill right now. I feel like Rooster, the main way to be getting back into this one is most likely a force buy win. They're going to throw a lot of utility towards B once again. Same smokes as before, and Burn's going to throw this util. Money manning, seeing what the players are like over on this side of the map, seeing if he can find a nice angle. He can't find a single damn thing.
That is a good shot from Danny G.
But the rest of ground 0 walking out A. ADK spotted this one out.
I think they do need to be a little bit careful. The Deagles are powerful. ADK's gotten himself another kill, and now ASAP, he just holds down the spray and Noobster walks into it.
I'm sure I ate it as a baby.
I think that's what Pairs is now.
You know, you know what you might have tried?
What's that?
Chucking a pear in the freezer.
I haven't tried that.
Really?
I don't like pears.
At all?
I mean, I don't like the fruit. I've got nothing against pears.
Yeah, okay.
But, yeah, not really a fan of pears. Got like this kind of weird... It's almost like, I think it's the texture in a way. Although I haven't had a pear in a long time, but...
Sounds like you haven't had a proper good pear.
Maybe
Sounds
not.
like you've had an unripened pear.
I don't mind like pears in a dessert.
What about pears in a salad?
No.
You're missing out.
Fruit in a salad, unless it's a fruit salad, is not my kind of thing. You know?
Pear and rocket salad is where it's at. Bit of parmesan.
I can't think of anything worse.
bit of salt, some good extra virgin olive oil,
Oh
and some
my
balsamic
God.
vinegar. Maybe a bit of vino cotto.
Honestly, Filski. You call yourself a food connoisseur and then you pull that out.
It's a very popular salad, Jordan.
Not with me.
To be
Rocket.
fair, you literally just eat sandwiches for like 95% of your meals.
Salad sandwiches are king.
Try a pear on it.
No. I'd sooner put an apple on it.
Yeah, apple on a sandwich.
I don't really like fruit in salads. What kind of other fruit have I had in salads? There's been mango
Pomegranate.
salads. Yeah,
Yeah,
don't mind
mango.
that. 80k doesn't mind this as well because he's going to be able to farm up a bit of cash. Ooh, he survives as well. Burns going to try and get a bomb plant down, but he won't have much luck. Danny G. That's BM.
That's a Danny G play. We love to see it. That's why we love the man. He's a cheeky boy.
12-7 as predicted.
Yeah, here's where I have to start commentating again. Bloody hell.
I was enjoying talking about fruits and salads and pears and
We'll have to when we do another podcast, see what kind of guests we get and see what they think of putting pears in the freezer or fruit in the freezer.
well, funnily enough, we will be recording one tomorrow with a guest.
Pressure on middle. Early pick for ground zero there. Towards catwalk. So keen to see what the response would be for Rooster. Thought they were going to push in extremity. They still may. It's actually a push into ramp. Chelios is on a deep angle towards B. So they have got info towards the extremities. Ground zero seems like they're ready for these pushes. They still have a player boosted up into window. So they're in good positions to be able to navigate their way through this round. They're still waiting for an over-aggression from Rooster. But that timing has not gone in the favour of Pears. He's cooked it. He's been able to readjust, though, and trade out Danny G.
1-for-1's not too bad when you have the numbers advantage, particularly on the T side.
The problem is, I feel like if they're going to go towards this A bomb site and 80k gets work done in ramp, and then you have Netic playing from Firebox, that's a recipe for success for Rooster.
Well, Noops is going to go first, which will give Licky the info, but they kind of got stuck on each other, and that's the perfect cooking pot for 80k to indeed get work done. Pears knows where Netic is, and he actually, incidentally, finds himself an incendiary as well. That's why they call it Firebox. And there goes Netic.
Flash clears out the right side, and he might even just be able to slide onto the bomb here. Cops a nade.
8 seconds, he has to plant.
He's got it.
And he's going to be able to plant safe as well, so 80k does have to challenge this. Pears has done well to get it to this position, but can he win the one-on-one?
Just going to try and play an off angle, see if he can play this headshot line. 80k is just waiting for him to peek out. The patience may not pay off.
You need to take that kind of a duel, and Pears has won it. That's a phenomenal round from him. A 4k as well, Pilski. A 1-on-3. And he's certainly not too disappointed with that one. 13-7.
It's an expensive round for ground zero, and Rooster are going to reinvest straight after it. So, ground zero, they've got the space to work with on this T side in terms of securing themselves enough rounds. A great clutch from Pears, who the man has only got 13 kills, but they have been impact frags.
Yep.
Every time this guy's fragging, he's shutting down these A bomb site hits on the CT side and clutching it out on that T side there.
Now I like Pears. Even in a salad.
Well, he took a while to get going, but now he's nice and ripened up. Premium performance.
Juicy. A juicy performance from Pears.
I love it.
I think because of that, I'm going to try a pair.
Okay.
for the first time in years. I'm gonna buy a pair next time I go to the shops.
What kind?
I don't know, the green one?
Nah. Get like the ready green one.
Okay.
That's what you want.
Maybe I'll ask Pears. Maybe if anyone who knows Pears is watching this, can ask him to tweet me what kind of pair I should buy.
Josephine, maybe?
Who's Josephine?
It's kind of
Is that someone that knows Pears?
Maybe. I don't know. Ground Zero are about to walk into a world of hurt. ASAP's got this counter flash ready for B Apartments. And Danny G's already on this off angle. Flash is perfectly timed.
Yeah, Danny G able to get a bit of damage with it, but how much more? Rooster does manage to knock him over, and Chelio's missing a shot with the orb. That's actually Ground Zero into the bomb site.
Don't know how that's fallen apart. Good crossfire between Burn and Licky here.
Yeah, Burn is the linchpin, isn't he? He's going to be able to watch ADK coming out from the window. Deals with that very effectively, and Chelios is going to be more interested in saving his weapon than winning the round.
He's going to be able to do that successfully. Still money in the bank for Rooster, even after losing this next round. The loss bonus is really helping them out here. But Ground Zero, they're getting real close to closing this one out very one-sidedly. Wouldn't have picked it. Would have said this one goes towards Rooster and then we decide things on Inferno. But now Ground Zero giving themselves a shot at winning 2-0, and they're going to take attack. I only just realized that that paper plane it's a dollar bill.
It's because they send money
Around the world.
around the world with one of the largest networks. That's why you should use Western Union. And because they support esports. I'm a big fan of companies that support esports and let us do what we do. 14-7's the scoreline, though, and Ground Zero have just taken that tactical pause.
We had an economy bonus the other day, and one of the StarCraft players got $750, and he was absolutely stoked.
Yeah, you would be. How's that fair? One player gets 750, and CS, the whole team, gets 500.
I don't know.
What's going on there? Bit of bias.
Oh!
But Netic, he's got a double kill, helped out by the flashes. Oh, this is not the kind of a round that Ground Zero wants to be losing. Really going to set Rooster up for success. Unless Noobster can maybe get a bit more damage done. He's flashed away the nades. They know where he is. They're throwing everything at him. And Danny G just slides across and finishes him off. 14-8. It's...
Imagine the round going like that after you take a pause.
Yeah.
Very precisely setting yourself up and execute, and then...
Bam. All right, what needs to happen here is Ground Zero just needs to go Tech 9 armor, 5 players, get a bit of utility, throw a few flashes over the A-bomb site, charge them down.
Oh,
Absolute YOLO mode.
Coach Elfish guy.
You remember YOLO?
Yes.
That's what they need to be.
People still say that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to go to the B-bomb site. I thought they should go A, but I think B's not too bad either. They're in front of the molly. In fact, it's put out by a smoke. Here we go. It's the strat working on overdrive right now for Ground Zero. Danny G, however, is able to get a couple of kills before he falls, and that is enough to buy time for the rotations. It was fun while it lasted for Ground Zero, but it didn't last for very long.
Yeah, it's good damage. I thought Danny G was going to be in a world of pain when he bumped into that pillar. He hasn't been as fancy on the footwork today. I've seen him, you know, dropping off some ledges and bumping into some walls.
I don't regularly bump into walls, but when I do, it is generally painful.
Especially around the toes. You got to mind the toes on those skirting boards.
I keep my toes in prime condition.
I think I've broken my pinky toe many times.
Great.
You ever just stub it really hard and it just turns purple?
No.
It's happened to me a couple times.
Doesn't sound too healthy. Pretty slow round out from ground zero this time. Quite a change up from what we saw in the last. And Burn is not quite prepared for Danny G again to just go aggressively sliding across his sightline.
Oh, this has suddenly turned very quickly around in the favor of Rooster. Punishing ASAP for continuing to go aggressive in that 5-on-3. I think Rooster's just decided to start playing with copious amounts of confidence. If they weren't already.
Maybe that's what they needed from the outset.
Oh,
Boy, that's not a bad one from Licky. He does spam through towards Netic's position as well, which prompts Netic to change his position up. Noobster not ready for it, nor was Pears. Licky has got him. Headshot comes across, and Noobster can't win the aim duel against Danny G, who again gets a triple kill. 14-10 the scoreline, and ground zero again are going to be pushed back onto an eco. Starting to raise some questionable, I was going to say concerning questions even for ground zero. Map's not over just yet.
they bought themselves plenty of space. I mean, if you can't get across the line when you're up like 14-7 or something, you're having some issues. Yeah, sure, Rooster's playing pretty well at the moment, but ground zero's put themselves in prime